G'day, that's Slot Car Guy here, and welcome back to another slot car review. And it's SRC's turn with the brand new released Ford Capri. I've got 2 copies of this car and a new SRC Polo to wear. So let's get stuck into it. Full unboxing, teardown, and let's see how this baby performs around my little track. So welcome back to another slot car review, and it is SRC's turn, and they've sent me 2 versions of this beautiful Ford Capri, the Le Grand Bazaar livery. But before we take a close look, a massive thank you to the team in Spain, SRC, for sending me 2 copies of this car to review and this beautiful SRC Polo. Now, if you do watch my channel, you know I've been working alongside SRC for many years, so I do really appreciate their support. So thank you guys for supporting me and supporting the channel. And this is truly incredible. So we're going to zoom on in and take a close look at both cars. There's only small differences. The main one is there is a co-pilot in this car that I'm holding. Other than that, from what I can see, they're very much the same. But we'll take a close look at the liveries. We'll take a close look at the cockpit if we can. And we'll do a full teardown on one of the cars. They are both the same. And then we'll put this thing around a track that I've got set up in the shed just for this car. So let's take a close look at SRC's version of the Ford Capri 2600 LV Tour de France from 1973, car 53. Now, I love the SRC packaging. Feels very premium, looks very premium. I love how they've gone with the gold right in the SRC in that beautiful circle with the website. Now, we'll quickly go around the box and have a quick look. It is pretty much the same all the way around, but it is a premium feel box, which we are paying a lot of money for these cars, so it's good to see that. But let's take a quick look on the inside and see what we get inside this beautiful looking display box. So let's jump on in and take a quick squiz at what we get inside. And I'll remove this beautiful cover. And like every good manufacturer, they should include an info card. This is, I think, a must. And there's our beautiful Ford Capri that we're about to take a look at. It's part of the original series, which I have done a video on that. SRC do 2 range of their car. Chrono and Original. The Original series in a nutshell is the higher detail car, where the Chrono series is more your club race ready cars. Here's all the list of parts and pieces that are fixed to this beautiful looking beast. I've got car number 23 out of 415. SRC do limited runs, so please jump on them. Now, I'm using the dual occupancy car, so the co-pilot and the driver car card, but the only major difference between these 2 cars is the one in front of you has 2 people sitting in it, but on the card itself, this single version car is 407, being the single driver, and the dual OC car is product code 408, but everything else, to what I can see, is identical. Both 415 run of cars, and I've got car 23 on both of them. So if you do want one of these, jump on them. They do go out the door. Another special thing that I think manufacturers should do, a nice molded plastic case to keep your car safe, especially for this SRC beauty. Now, we'll have a quick look at it because it is pretty special, but we won't take too long looking at it. But as you can see, I can lift it off its base. There is no screws when you receive one of these boxes, so that plastic is essential. So that's what's inside the box. Let's zoom on in and take a close look at the dual lock car, and let's see what this thing looks like underneath the bonnet. So let's start on the driver's side of this beautiful Ford Capri by SRC. Now, when we're talking livery, I'm not familiar with this car in the real racing world, but I'm absolutely falling in love with the Le Grand Bazaar livery itself. Very fun, very cool. I love some of the colors that they've decided to go with. But we'll start with the front wheel. Absolutely love these mesh sort of deep dish. The fronts are quite deep dish mesh design rim with the chrome lip. Love it. Looks good, looks realistic. I think SRC has knocked it down the park. And we've got the SO livery sticker, decal on the front. Looks really good. Going down to the driver's door, we've got those 3 faces. Again, these are small details that have done really well by SRC. I'm not familiar with those faces, but they look pretty cool to me. A nice chrome side mirror right beside the driver, and then we've got car 53, and just above that, that nice chromed out door handle. Now let's just focus on the driver. We do have a cutout in the window, and we can see him holding on to the steering wheel. Really well done figure. Amazing detail on these figures. Again, SRC are well known for doing beautiful detail on these race cars. Down to the chrome lips around the window surrounds. Again, more realism. It's not just a solid flat windscreen. We've got some detail around that. Let's move down to the rear quarter panel past the last face. Again, not familiar with me, but just beside his left ear is a nice little cutout in the side of this beautifully pumped guard. Again, really well done. Beautiful rear rim, the same as the front. Nicely deep dish It's a gold mesh with that chrome lip. And then we'll just quickly direct ourselves just to the back quarter panel, just look at that rear pump. And again, it looks pretty damn cool to me. So let's spin the car to the front. We'll take a close look at the front of the car, and then we'll work our way around. So here we are at the front of this beautiful looking Ford Capri. Now, for a front of a car, no active lights, but it looks as realistic as I think you would get. Different color light covers. We've got the soft yellow. We've also got the clear cover on these lights. And we've also got the rally style racing lights on the front. Again, detail to the max. But let's work our way down to that beautiful big black splitter. We've got some Dunlop insignia, and I think it says Sibi on both ends of that. Again, it looks realistic. For me, I love photographing toys. This is definitely a car that I can't wait to start photographing some of the finer details on. Looks realistic. No active lights, but for a front of a car, I think they've done a good job. Just behind the lights, we do have a registration plate or similar. Again, finer details. You are paying good money for these cars, and I think you are getting your bang for buck. Let's spin it around to the rear. I want to show the rear off first, and then we'll take a close look at some of the top details on this beautiful looking Capri. So the fun doesn't stop at the rear, and from this angle you can see how nicely pumped those side guards are, and just on the ends of those side guards you can see where that airflow will come out after going through the front of the guards. So really cool detail on this car that again they don't really have to add in, but the realism I do appreciate. Got the brake lights and the indicators look good. Not active. Remember, this car does not have active lights, but it looks pretty damn realistic. Down to the license plate and whatever that is underneath it. Another bit of insignia underneath the license plate itself. Love it. The silver globe holders, I would call that, for the license plate. Another beautiful fine detail. Twin exhaust outlets just below there. But work our way to the top. This is the top lip of the rear of the car. You got the Ford writing, looks really good with the bonnet. Sorry, the boot pins. Again, another fine detail that, of course, they don't have to add to it, but they do. So really well done. Looks good from behind. Let's check the top, and then we'll move our way down to the passenger. So here's the view from above. We're looking down on the Ford Capri, which you probably would when you are racing a slot car. You do look down above it a lot. So it's good seeing some of these finishes on top. Let's start at the bonnet. We've got the Legrand Bazaar writing with those faces, beautifully executed. They look really, really cool. Again, I don't know who they are, but they look cool. There's a raised section in the middle of the Capri bonnet, which is on the real car itself. It's really well done there. Moving up to the bottom of the windscreen, you see some cutouts, little notches, and of course two beautiful looking chromed windscreen wipers that are just brushing across that front clear windscreen, where you can see the highly detailed models from the front end. Onto the roof, car number 53 and Les Charlottes. I'm going to butcher all these words. Rolling down to the back of the car, past the beautiful clear rear windscreen. And then just below that windshield is some more cutouts. So some more details from above, and then finishing off with some writing Legrand Bazaar and something else that I can't read from this height. So there you go. That's the above of the car. Looks really good. So here is the second car from SRC. It is the same Ford Capri, and the major differences you will see is there is no passenger, but we still have a very beautiful, full detailed interior, and the driver is wearing a blue jumpsuit and not a white jumpsuit. Now, from a quick glance, that's the major differences that I can find. So let's bring back the other car. Let's tear it down and have a look at what makes this thing go. So teardown completed, 4 screws only to pull it apart. Let's start from the front and work our way back. Front axle is fully adjustable. You can adjust the height by those grub screws. I believe we are running aluminium hubs or rims. Working our way down the negative and positive, you'll pass those 2 little silver screws which are holding in the motor pod. You can adjust that to have some float and play, fully adjustable, up to you how you want to set up the chassis itself. Follow those negative and positive, you will cross a bar magnet which is fully removable, or you can move it forward of the position it's in now. Now we've got a Sidewinder motor. Now this thing has got a little bit of a kick. 26,000 RPM running at 12 volt. Little motor, big kick. Now that has been braced in by, as you can see, that motor brace, which you can remove that to change in and out motors if need be. But I do love the star cutout design on top of the motor itself, and take a look at that. Talking gearing, we do have the 11 tooth pinion and the 32 tooth gear, and of course the rear is the same setup as the front, adjustable, removable aluminium hubs, and the tires are quite sticky. So let's flip it over and have a look underneath, because there's some more detail I do want to point out. So here's the underside of the chassis, and the detail does not stop. You can see the exhaust pipes running from the front where the real engine of the car will be sitting, and it runs out to the side, passenger side of this car. You can see the magnet which is exposed, and also this is stamped as a chrono chassis. So although it's an original shell, being the full detail shell, they do run the same chassis being the chrono. So there's no real performance difference in both models. It's just the detail is heavier on the original series. So that's the underside of the car. Let's put it on track and let's see how this baby rock and rolls. So we're here down in the slot shed, and I have set up a special little track for the Capri test. Let's check it out. And there it is. So let's do a quick walk around lap. So down the straight into this nice big sweeper, into a quick S, out of the S into a shorter little S, last big sweeper, then over the finish line. So let's chuck SRC's Capri around the SRC test track. So the results are in. How did SRC's latest Ford Capri perform around my purposely built track for this car and for this review? Well, the fastest lap I could get was a 6.62, which I think is pretty impressive for a decent sized track. Now, building the track, it kept getting bigger and bigger. I'm not too sure, did I go a little bit too big? The car itself, straight line speed, incredible, really quick out of the box. Through the corners, hugged them really well. Now keep in mind, in Melbourne, Australia today, it is winter. My shed is freezing, so I'm surprised we could get some tyre temp into the car. So I'm actually really surprised how well it went in today's weather conditions. Now, setup of the car, as I always do, stock as a rock from the box to the track. I clean the track, clean the tyres. If any greasing or oiling needs to be done, basic maintenance, I do that. But we are lucky. Today's cars are really, really good out of the box, as you can see from the hot laps. Massive thank you to the team at SRC for sending me 2 versions of the car. Keep in mind, these are limited run. 415 pieces for both of these cars that they sent me. So check out www.src.es and try and order one if you can, because they do sell out quick. And a massive thank you for the new Polo, new color as well. The old one's great. They've gone a blue color, really, really cool. But as always, at That Slot Car Guy on Instagram and YouTube. Here's my email if you want to send me anything, any builds you're doing, your track design, and we can share on upcoming videos. The Facebook group page, That Slot Car Group. Please check it out, come across, have some fun. But be safe, take care, support your local. Ciao.